Hey champions, it's Saturday. I hope you're excited for the weekend. I know today's my personal day. I try to take Saturdays for myself. So outside of doing the vlogs and replying to a few emails, I'm usually just spending time doing errands, running chores, and just taking care of a little bit of me time. So expect tomorrow's vlog to be a little bit more bland because I'm not doing a whole lot of Genesis stuff today. But I did want to talk about a few things. So yesterday, again, I did my live stream. I had a lot of fun talking about collectability. It's a topic that there's so much nuance, and I think a lot of players, retailers don't get to talk about this division of it with a natural game creator and get their perspective on it. Now, every designer, it's gonna have a different viewpoint, and mine is just mine, right? Don't think that whatever I say, every game designer feels the same way. We're all gonna have different opinions on it. So I appreciate everyone who came out to watch that, left a comment on that video. I've been getting a lot of cool comments. Actually, the focus of today's vlog is going to be on a comment responding to yesterday's vlog. But before I get into that, I do want to give a shout out to some content that came out yesterday. So Stackz Gaming released a video and I laughed so hard. I had such a great time watching that video. So if you haven't gone to see it yet, go watch it. Seriously, those guys there, they are hilarious. I love all their content and they're so genuine. So that was wonderful. Ben dropped his video and oh my goodness, I was like, I'll just go watch it. I'm not gonna spoil it. I was just like, it was fun. It was definitely fun. And then on top of that, Red Zone Rogue launched their videos, and so I love all the content creators that help support the game. You have no idea how good it feels to have other people help create content for Genesis. I mentioned this in DM Armada's box opening, but for years I was making content on my own. I was the only person doing it, and the only people who were watching it was Alex Miller and Steve, and it was great having their support all the time, but it was like, I just want to get that reach. I want to keep growing, but it was hard. It was really, really hard. And finally, I got outside my comfort zone, took a huge risk, and it was really challenging at first, but I ended up reaching out to Red Zone Rogue, TCG University, DM Armada, and Scrub TV or something like that. I can't remember. And all of them made content, which was great, but DM Armada and Red Zone Rogue stuck with me and kept on talking about the product, kept on pushing it, kept on engaging me with conversation, and all of a sudden I didn't feel alone anymore. So there's always going to be a special place in my heart for Red Zone Rogue and DM Armada. So to see Red Zone Rogue put out a box opening video, have fun with the product, and talk about wanting to play games, it felt awesome. So to everyone who's making content, thank you so much. Don't think that in any way I'm less excited for your videos than other people's. It's just, it takes me back to the beginning when I see Red Zone Rogue and DM Armada do some of this content. So I'm going to leave a link to all their videos. Go watch Stackz, go watch Ben's, go watch Red Zone Rogue. Show them some support. If you can't get through the full video, watch as much as you can. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't yet. So I want to talk about that. Excuse me. And then the other thing, I did my live stream yesterday. Just letting you know that the Friday live streams, I'm probably not going to do them as live streams anymore. Occasionally I'll drop a new video on Fridays whenever I have the time to do them, and they'll be pre-recorded like the vlogs are. Pre-recorded. If I have the opportunity, I'll go back and edit and change things up. Alright, I want to respond to a comment made by Shadeghoul. Great guy who's been a huge supporter of the game since the moment he saw it and has been creating a lot of content. So I'll leave a link to his channel as well, because he's just starting up as a content creator and doing a lot of Genesis related content. So learning kind of the tricks, learning ways to get a little bit better. But at the end of the day, I think it's great. So he left a comment on yesterday's video, said, I think you made some very good points here. I had the same conversation recently about that. There has been there has to be product availability, but also some demand. How to balance that would be a challenge for most, and that's definitely what we're dealing with, is trying to figure out how to balance that, because we don't want demand to exceed product availability just to inflate costs to create FOMO, because that's healthy for cash flow in the moment, but I personally don't believe that's healthy for the game in the long term. And what I'm looking for is a long term play. I want to be around in 15 years from now. I want Genesis to be around in 15 years and for people to be like, yeah, remember when they were the underdog? Remember when they were so challenging, challenging the status quo and trying to reshape this industry? That's what I want people to think about when it comes to our story. Not that, oh, look, at the day one launch, there was so much demand for the product. It was you couldn't get it anywhere. And I don't want there to be that challenge of people wanting to get into the game and not being able to. Every time I hear stories of that, it breaks my heart. I think it's so rough. So, continue on with the comment. The whole zoo, speaking about MetaZoo, thing is just that right now, people are asking for 1.5K for a card that was given to fans at 100 cards made. And what I want to respond to about this is, anyone who knows Genesis knows that a long time ago there was a card created, and I'm going to throw it up on screen, so sorry for being a bit distracted here. There was a card created a while back called Sky Storm Dragon. Found it. Perfect. So let's throw Sky Storm Dragon, and I'm going to put up a particular artwork that a lot of people probably haven't seen. Hey, now you're not looking at my face, you don't know that I'm actually distracted. Ooh. So Sky Storm Dragon was released at SkyCon back in 2018. I think it was a year after launch. We went back to SkyCon and released this promo. And this particular iteration, there was only 4 copies of them. And keep in mind, even though it doesn't show here on the image, each one of those copies were stamped 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4, and 4 of 4. And they went out. So 1 I kept. 1 of 4 was for myself. 2 of 4 went to the convention owner, Rob Morris, who created SkyCon. And Sky, this entity, this dragon, was his IP that he let us use for a Genesis card. Then number 3 went to the artist who did this artwork. So he had that copy, and number 4 went into a raffle. And if I went back in time, I probably wouldn't have done a raffle. I would have done an auction. I don't like raffles. I don't like the idea that you can put in a whole bunch of money into a chance to win and then still lose. I think that the person who's willing to pay the most should have the opportunity to just seize it. And yeah, that does put a disadvantage to people who don't have a lot of money, but at the same time, I don't want you spending your money and getting nothing out of it, because the good thing about the auction is that the only person who has to pay anything is the person who wins. So that one went into a raffle, and then the winner of that still has their copy. And the artist, so this is where the story starts getting interesting for me. The artist went around and sold his copy of Sky to another person for a fair amount of money. I don't want to say any details. It's not my place to say any of that. But the realization that a Genesis card was worth more than just $5 or $10 to me grossed me out. I hated this. I thought, as a game designer, I have failed. For me personally, I think the idea that any meta or any relevant tournament card should have a form of itself that should be accessible to the average consumer. Anyone who has the money, who has some disposable income, should be able to save up and get a copy of that particular card, either through packs, so making pack distribution easy enough that hunting for the card isn't insane. So you don't have to buy 10,000 packs to get that one card. You just need to buy maybe 10, 15, 20, right? Especially if you're getting them in order in the box, that's even easier. Or buying just one booster box and knowing that you're going to get that copy of the card. Particular versions, and this is what I talked about in yesterday's live stream, in yesterday's vlog. Getting particular versions of that card turns into oh, I want to get an Alpha Chrono Walker, I want to get a Foil Chrono Walker, I want to get the Future League Chrono Walker, I want to get that Beta, Welcome to Jaelara Chrono Walker, or the Epic version from Welcome to Jaelara, whatever it may be. Those alternate versions, that's on you. That's your choice, because that's not required to play the card. The only thing that's required is to have a copy of that card. And as long as a copy of that card is accessible to the average consumer, then I think we're succeeding as a game, because I want the tools to be available. And I've ranted about this before, and I feel like I'm going to talk about this in a lot of different nuances again and again. But something that's really cool to me, and I'm going to give a huge shout out to Steve-O from Heads or Tails. I've been talking about him a lot recently, but he's been there since the very beginning. He was our second client to ever pick up Genesis, the first client who had no connection to me and just tried the game and loved it so much and was like, I want to carry this at my store. So we've talked a lot of detail about secondary market, and remember so many nights he shut his store. I'm there for an extra hour and a half, 2 hours, and we're just debating, and we're getting raising our voice, and it's getting really intense. And one of the things he told me, especially with Sky, was like, the moment I put the stamped numbers on the card, the value of that card skyrocketed. And I remember regular Sky, so that was the alternate art, the normal art version of Sky, they were selling for about $15 to $20, and I thought that was wrong too. And that was why we put Zambra Dragon into Raise, was that to give an accessible version of Zambra Dragon to the entire community, and was, part of canon. It made sense in the lore of Genesis. So that then made a version of Sky that's accessible to you. You can play that version. I was talking to someone the other day, and he mentioned how he bought some stuff for Genesis and was holding on to it and collecting it and didn't know if he wanted to play it. And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to collect. And I was like, no, play the game. Play the game. Because this is... at the end of the day, I wanted a game for people to play. All right. I've hammered this stuff in long enough. I've talked about it over and over again, and this video is way, way longer than my other ones. So I'm so sorry about that. Tomorrow's will be much shorter. But I hope you enjoyed that. Shadeghoul, I hope that this was a good story for you, and that you had some fun time talking about this. My headphones just fell out. Hopefully that didn't interrupt the sound. All right, I'm also going to throw in the closing screen, because I want to give a huge shout out to our Patreon supporters. I should be doing that on a more regular basis. So thank you to everyone who supports us on Patreon. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.